Here are three of my favorite spiritual practices to help deepen awakening and maybe even lead towards enlightenment. Before I share them with you, please do subscribe to the channel and like this video if you feel so inclined. So, a lot of people talk about there be no need for practices of any kind on the spiritual path because the recognition that our fundamental nature is awake presence is it. I don't agree with that view. I do think that recognition is fundamental. I've spoken about that in another video. To me, that's awakening, as it were. But I think that, in fact, I have no doubt that practices are important. Even if some way down the line, let's say you do fully awaken and realize it was never you driving the practices in the first place. Anyway, the first one I'd like to talk about is self-inquiry. So self-inquiry, obviously popularized best by Ramana Maharshi. Who am I fundamentally? So it's about self-inquiry. Who am I? I'm the neti process. I'm not the body. I'm not the mind. I'm not thoughts. I'm not memories. I'm not sensations. And I'm not perceptions. I'm that which is aware of all of those things. And so the Ramana Maharshi question is, who am I? And obviously that can be a bit problematic because saying who am I can lead to the question, well, I'm Simon, I do this for a job, I'm a dad, etc., etc. So in terms of choosing a good self-inquiry question, my favorite self-inquiring question that I, for me, find most useful is when am I or where am I? After a period of short meditation to settle things down, going into that question, particularly when am I? Because as soon as the mind rises, you've missed it. So you can only feel your way into the answering of that question. This is something Gary Weber talks about a hell of a lot. For him, it was, where am I? So self-inquiry, very, very powerful, number one. Number two, focus meditation. Now, a lot of people are of the view that focus meditation misses the point because there's an element of subject, meditator, and object, whatever you happen to be meditating on. And I can understand that. But also, having spoken to a lot of people, one of the people who I have no doubt has really been utterly transformed, did it entirely through really focused meditation. And I'm not talking about a guided meditation on one of the apps or anything like that. I'm talking about really, really focused meditation. This is actually something I'm enjoying doing a lot at the moment. But there's a couple of mindset, I don't like that word, but like outlook approaches that are really important. And I'll share that in a future video to really supercharge the focusing meditation power. So that's number two. And then number three is energy and body practices. We live so in our heads. We spend so much time sat in front of a computer. I think, the body is a portal to presence. We have to engage the body. So much tension, trauma, energy knots get stuck in the body. We have to use this portal properly. So to me, just sitting misses an element of that. So two things I really like doing: TRE, trauma release exercises, which really bring back an alive pulsatingness to the body and release blockages. I find that really useful. I've done a video that I recorded with the guy who came up with it, David Berselli. But the thing that I find most powerful as well is Qigong. So I do a grounding Qigong practice, and the difference is it's so subtle, the practices, subtle movements. You'd think, is this exercise? And everyone's so used to exercises that are doing, running and gym and blah, blah, blah. That's something that's quite subtle. You think, what's that doing? But I tell you what, it's powerful. And I've done opening Qigong practices, 15 minutes, and felt like, boom, my consciousness was as wide as a room. So yeah, that's it. I would say self-inquiry, focused meditation, and physical energetic practices like TRE or Qigong in particular. And I'm going to do videos about each of them individually. But those are three of my favorite spiritual practices towards awakening and, dare I say it, enlightenment. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do like and subscribe. And as I said, I'll be back with a bit more detail on each of those 3 areas in an upcoming video soon. But for now, goodbye.